of woke identitarian pish more than me, right? But I'm also acutely aware that racism is a real and present danger, and followed by that was, yes, my hair. I tell you what I need to do actually. I need to give Alexandra Lucia a plug, because...
Well, Lizzie Donnelly, what sort of cure have you?
I have the cure for the jaundice.
And where did you get that?
I got it from the next door neighbour.
And how did you get it?
He wrote out the recipe for me. He was finished.
Lizzie, you have the cure for the thorn.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a consulted butter. Every May morning, rub it on the thorn. Charm anybody that comes with the thorn.
Now, you better explain to us what you mean by the thorn.
And if you...
Hey everyone, this is Diane. Today I want to speak to you about something deeply painful, something that words only can't fully capture. This is not just a genocide, this is...
Heartbroken, I'm at wit's end. She's never accepted by my friends. It's cool because I never liked them.
I know you want it, come and get it, I'ma give it to ya. I know you want it, come and get it, I'ma give it to ya. I know you want it, come and get it.
If there is a connection to ghost stories in a certain area and fairies in a certain area.
Agreed. Yeah. But partly, sometimes, because people have mistaken the two.
Right, okay.
They have mistaken the two.
Everyone, this is Bissam from Gaza. It's the day 386 of the genocide. And I just have no words remain to describe the situation in Gaza Strip or to tell you anything to do. Because simply this...
I want to play you a brand new, fresh out the box song. You guys ready for that? This song is educational, so just listen really closely. Seem like bad news all of the time. We got floods and fires and wars and crime. They try to tell me who I ought to blame, but I know who it is, 'cause it's always the same. But don't be ashamed if you get confused when you talk to your friends or you watch the news. They try to tell you where it all went wrong, and you don't need to argue, just sing this song. It was rich people stacking the deck, rich people with big fat checks, rich people having a ball, rich people been fucking us all. Alright, but they laid me off last Thursday night. They tried to tell me where the money went, but I know who it was pinching every cent. It was rich people stacking the deck, rich people with big fat checks, rich people that having a ball, rich people just fucking us all. Now you know the important words. Rich people, it ain't the Jews. Rich people don't pay no dues. Rich people, it ain't the blacks. Rich people don't pay no taxes. Rich people, it ain't immigration. It's rich people and corporations. Rich people, it ain't rednecks. It's rich people with big fat checks. Rich people, they're having a ball. Rich people been fucking us all.
A land violently thrust up into volcanic hills. On the tallest of them, a castle has stood for 1,000 years. Set on its rock, with a sheer drop except to the east. This side, a crowned cathedral, and a city which crept up the rocky spur asking for protection. Edinburgh. The city rashly ventured down from the ridge into the valley, but after the tragedy of the Battle of Flodden, it was hurriedly walled round. Queen Mary's White Palfrey gave a name to White Horse Close, a coaching inn down near the palace, point of arrival from London. Uphill, the high street of the crowded, rickety, cliff-hanging, skyscraping capital of Scotland. After the Union, a capital only in name. Her cathedral divided into makeshift kirks. Her Parliament Hall, where Parliament no longer sat. "50 families squatting in one noble house. A city of 50,000 souls, refugees from history." Decay and disease elbowed through the closes and wines. The most spacious quarters reserved, when the call came, for the illustrious dead. Today, this old town still stands on its rock, though many ancient buildings have been replaced. A town of up and down streets, up and down stairs. 200 years ago, a time of overcrowding, squalor, hopelessness. It was Edinburgh's Lord Provost, George Drummond, who saw clearly the dawn of a new age, a prospect for the city. He looked first to the health and prosperity of the ailing capital. He raised money to build this Royal Infirmary, and then the Royal Exchange, which is now the city chambers. But his greatest work he didn't live to see, the new town of Edinburgh. The best plan was chosen in a competition, and the winner was the young architect James Craig, who was the inheritor of Drummond's vision. The land for the new town lay the other side of the North Loch. In the year 1767 came the leap northwards across the loch on to the bleak heights known as Barefoot's Parks. Here, the new town began to take shape. This is Thistle Court, where Craig himself laid the foundation stone of the first house. His plan created 3 main thoroughfares and 2 great squares. One square named after St. George of England, the other after St. Andrew for Scotland. Some of the new town's earliest houses still stand in St. Andrew's Square. Sir Lawrence Dundas built his town mansion on the site Craig had intended for St. Andrew's Church. It looks westward along George Street, called after King George III, monarch of the United Kingdom. Since this became the city's main business quarter, many of the original buildings have been replaced. But St. Andrew's Church remains on the site they found for it. Its porticoed oval setting off the square pattern of the streets. Amid changes, the regular rhythm of Craig's plan remains as strong as ever. George Street, with its heroic statues marking the crossings. George IV for Hanover Street, William Pitt for Frederick Street, Dr. Thomas Chalmers for Castle Street. Sir Walter Scott lived for 25 years in this house in Castle Street. The friendly advocate by day, the tireless writer by night. His authorship of the Waverley novels still unrevealed.
Do you know what? Thought, right, I'll be all efficient in that. I got too wrapped up in the history lesson. I'll be back in. Can you not hear me? What you saying? I tell you, a wee schoolboy error. You can't get everything right, no matter how hard you try. You just got to deal with that. Anyway, Shalom to Bob and the Bobettes. I'm a bit disappointed in that because I like the way that mix started. Another splendid compilation by Leo Soke. Scotland Forever. Can hear you now, pal. Jimmy McRae, Jimmy the Piper. Tell you what, Kit Kats, right? Let's tune into your professional stream, right? Give us the link, and I'll be your most regular attendee, and I'll get my notepad and pen out, and every tiny little thing, I'll make a note of it. Morning, Doreen. Morning to you. I'm not worried. There's many things. There are many things. A good morning to criticise the SNP. Well, let's not leave out the other political bastards. Like, didn't think that they don't get exclusive rights for our ire. Look, they're all the same. Well, are we? Can we just, in the salons, when that guy, I can't mind what that guy's name is. I should know that. He made a whole number of films during the 60s and 70s. That's when we actually produced good quality content, for want of a better term. It was publicly funded as well. But in the salons, in the 18th century salons and that, they're like, what's his name? Who was the total shagger that wrote the Boswell? Have you ever read Boswell's Diaries? He's a filthy bastard. He was banging like 3 or 4 hookers a night and then gave his missus syphilis and that, and then blaming her. But the general that was like when Hume and Boswell and all these cats were meeting in the salons in the high street and that. The first kind of accepted. I'll turn that down a wee bit, maybe it's a bit loud, that music. The first accepted vibe was that everybody basically accepted. Well, look at this. I've got a whole nay sound. You've got a sound now. Syphilitic geniuses. Hola from sunny Spain. Nigel was in España. Quality. The general accepted rule was that nobody believed in God. Everybody had dispensed with religion. Had more or less what's going on with this? Had more or less agreed that religion was like, to be dispensed with. And material reality was kind of that, they were into that or something like that. But I think that should be the vibe for What the X. And there should be a general vibe of What the X, where anybody that sort of participates in What the X is up to speed with the fact that the political class are all the same. So we don't care what colour your rosette is. If you're part of a contemporary neoliberal political party, wherever you think you are on that scale, yous are all the same, right? So I've long since given up trying to get into the idea that there's a difference between these clubs. That's where we need to start from. We need to recognise that they're all the same and get rid of all of them, right? So what is your take on Nicola? Well, this is the same. Scotland forever. Scotland forever. I'll be brief with this. I'll be very brief with this particular direct question that I've been asked. I honestly couldn't care less about the personal lives of people or their sexual proclivities I have no interest whatsoever, less than no interest. So long as people aren't harming other people in some way or other, I'm not really interested. And so I don't care. I don't care whether Nicola Sturgeon is in a polyamorous relationship, whether she's a lesbian, whether she's going to become a public lesbian, whether she's broken up with her husband. I don't care whether Peter Morrell is gay. I don't give a toss about any of that stuff. What I do give a bit more of a toss about is how much of a bunch of chancellors they all are. Do you know what I mean? It's just complete and utter frauds. But we all maybe have to take a wee bit, like, you know, we all have to maybe take a wee bit of responsibility in terms of who we've put in power. Maybe that's what this next. We're 25 years into this first century. Maybe this next section, this next quarter, we could pay a wee bit more attention to who we actually elect. That's what I would be looking to do or suggest. Anyway, I hope that satisfies Scotland forever. I hope that satisfies you. God hates the shagging, says a rancid opportunist. Well, God does he? He might do. I quite like spelled out. I'm still drawn to Belgium Lascar's syphilitic geniuses. This is the Enlightenment was built on the foundation of syphilitic geniuses. Anyway, so that video, that's a wee clip of how it used to be. I think the interesting thing about that video, Prospect for a City, where is it? First of all, it's interesting that they probably filmed it on maybe on a Saturday or something, but it looks like the lockdown, doesn't it? Like there's nobody around. It certainly wasn't brimming with tourists. What's it? Katrina Grant saying, I saw Nicola flit. Oh right, I saw Nicola flit in November 23 at the end of my street. I spoke to her. So it's no news on my street. No news on your street. Posh street do you live in, That's some posh business that we're talking about. I'm getting involved in the salacious gossip of it all. Anyway, back to the point at hand. I wanted to actually give me a wee second. Where did I put that? Here it is here. This one. I'll bring it up here. Stick it over here. One thing I noticed was there's just Ken, what I like about this bit here, right? This is my favourite bit. It's just
today, this old
just normal folk, just like your granny and granddad and that walking down the high street. Just that's how it was. Even when I was growing up, you just would go up the high street you knew loads of folk lived in the old town, and nobody thought anything of it. See when you go to Coburn Street today, you're never going to see two guys like that, right? It's never going to be as empty as that either. Look at this wee women taking their kids down to Princess Street to buy some shoes for them or something. Do you know what I mean? There's no tourists. You know, I don't think people realise that for a lot of us, we grew up in Edinburgh, we only really saw, the tourists came in August and then they fucked off. It was great. And now we've all been told to fuck off and it's just tourists. Nae wheelie cases, says Dave Swift. Nae wheelie cases at all. And so this is, I think it's interesting, but I mean, I don't know when this, I'd need to check when this was actually created. I'll tell you something else, right? The idea that the because I thought this morning that we would talk about Civic Vandals. And I'll tell you something about this, right? I know a wee interesting fact about this very particular building here. This is called Thistle Court, right? And it's where James Craig himself, I think you might have heard in the film there, it's where James Craig laid the first stone or something. Hang on a wee minute, let me put I quite like the blend of styles that I've got going on here.
This is Thistle Court, where Craig himself laid the foundation stone of the first house.
Right. See it, so...
His plan created 3 main thoroughfares.
Alright, okay, you can't see. So this is Thistle Court, right? Let me show you on the... This is like my wee fact, my Edina fact, like. Let me see if I can find Google Maps. What's this going up here? There's all these. I'm enjoying this full house on X today. Bougie Cat, the Newtown. They live a couple of miles from me. It's a modern detached house. This is the Sturgeons. They're buying your mushies and create them for Saturday night on Cromer Street. Actually, I had pals who lived there, yeah. We had an outside lavvy in St Mary's Street in the 80s. Good bit of Jan Hammer in the background. Is that who it is? Is it Jan Hammer? My brother had that. Had a VHS tape with a Jan Hammer Seeds of Life thing. It was like the first Silicon Graphics videos. We rinsed that tape, man. We thought it was amazing. Like, you know, it was pretty basic kind of graphics, but it was quality. We used to watch it all the time. Let me just go Google Maps. Google Maps, eh? Accept. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can find this. Is that it there? St David Street, not St David Street. Thistle Court, is that it there? Wait a minute. Or it might be here, right? So look here. This one. Where is it? It's down here. Right. Is it? The fuck am I doing? Where have I gone? Is that because I hope you are all enjoying this. There, it's there. No. Where is it? Just give us a second, eh? There it's there. How's it not let me see it? Oh, fuck this. There it's there, right, okay, right, so see, I'll bring it back to you. Right, so you've seen what it was like in the 60s or whatever, right? Lost in the city, I know, how is it possible? So there it is there, right? I mean, even that, like, you know, it's still pretty, you know? this is what they've done, right? They stuck a Mystic Peg, good to see you. Great to see. Sorry, I didn't realise that wheelie cases was there. Mystic Peg, top of the morning to you. So you can see they seem to have put some glass on the back of that thing, right? But you can see here, right? So what they did, it was basically the original vibe that James Craig did. I mean, you can see what an arse they made it in the 60s and that anyway, right? This is just service offices. This is the oldest building in the new town, right? And it was done like a French courtyard. So they had this one here, and then it was like a garden and that. Look, they've got rid of, there's a surprise, they've got rid of the fucking trees for a car park, right? Check it, they had nice trees in that. They've fucking been taken away. But see this one over here, right? What's quite interesting about this one here is that, see, they were like a mirror. They were like it was like a mirror image of each other. Like, these are the oldest buildings. So this is how we know that the City Council, as much as they're arseholes now, they've always been arseholes, right? Even from like 40 odd years ago, 50 years ago. Because, right, and see, the other thing is, right, all the interiors of these buildings were all bespoke and designed as well. So it's not just, you know, it's like the fittings, everything, you know, these are like pricelessly amazing buildings, right? And they've just been completely like, you know, these are just serviced offices. They're empty all the time anyway, right? So they've got this car park, they cut down all the trees, and there was like a fountain thing in the middle and stuff, like, you know, it was like really beautiful, ornate kind of vibe. But this one here, you notice that the windows are all black, right? The windows are all black. You know why that is, right? Because this one here has been completely gutted inside entirely, and inside of it is a power substation for the 60s office buildings that they built here. So this entire beautiful original building from the foundation of the new town is just an electricity substation, basically. So there is your intriguing, lesser known fact about Edina for this morning. I hope you felt that was worth the wait. I'll start giving physical tours. If you'd like to join me, I'll take you round the town. How are you doing, Mystic Peg? Right, let's get back into it. I said it, I did. Paved paradise and put up a parking lot. You're right, Kit Kats. They're never satisfied. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. Just while I'm here, while I remember, who's this twat? Muppets, man, honestly. Carsie Blanton. Carsie Blanton, or Carsie Blanton, is the artist that I played at the beginning of the stream. And thanks to Joe Windsor for putting me on to Carsie Blanton, because she's amazing. She's absolutely brilliant. She's got another track where she mentions James Connolly as well, which is cool. Which I will find a schedule for. No joking, pal. You ken how it is. Right. It's no 8 minutes past, it's 29 minutes past. Time flies when you're fanning around on Google Maps. Okay, so I wanted to try to address as best I could Be there or be square. So this was the I always know when I've contributed to. So this post, right, it's got 62,000 views now. If I hadn't said anything, it probably wouldn't have many views, because you'll see that I'm not bothered. I'm not trying to. The more the merrier, eh? The more the merrier. But it's a kind of. This is a moment, right? And we need to do something. This is a plea. This is an SOS, right? Edinburgh Council never gets much. Well, let's look at their other posts, right? They never get much traction on their posts. Like, there's one from 17 hours ago. It's got 1 like and 1 response. And generally, you know, they probably get more traction than the Scotsman and Brian Ferguson's. In fact, even if they had no likes and no retweets, that would still be more than Brian Ferguson's articles get on the Scotsman. But nevertheless, this particular statement that they put out has now received a great deal of attention. And whether or not I was the person to first draw attention to it is not really the point. The point is that it is gaining attention, and it's gaining attention for the right reasons. Because let's just read what they say, and then perhaps just to amuse ourselves, let's read some of the creative responses that have been made. What's this say? Loving this tour of Edinburgh behind the George Hotel. They're haunted as fuck. I see. I tell you, I've informed yous in ways that you never could have known. Why, when I'm looking at my, do I need to move that along? Will that bring that up to date? Oh, I think it. Right. Anyway, anybody who accuses me of procrastinating is getting leathered. Who's planning? Who's we? Who the fuck is we? Paul Lawrence and his developer associates. A guy for Hull who turned up here 10 years ago, somehow managed to, and now he's in charge of the whole council, elected with full from every council member. Yes, let's have this guy. Take a look around the town and see how fucked it is. Who's done the most fucking? This guy, right? Let's make him the guy in charge of the entire council. Anyway, we are planning for the future of Princess Street and this is the bit obviously that everybody got tipped by, you know, and the Waverley Valley. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as the Waverley Valley, right? This is just an invented term for developers. The same people made the shore. The same people. You want to see something else? You want to see what else the same people have done, right? Check this, right? You get it. I fully concur with this. Hold on, right? So, right. Let's look at what else they've done, right? Same people, the same people that have now called Princess Street Gardens the Waverley Valley, right? Did anybody notice that they did this? Look at this, right? Leith Walk is now starts at the top of Broughton Street. Look at that. There's Leith Walk. Leith Walk starts there. Why? Because that suits the people that are marketing Leith, right? So dafties they're in Hong Kong and they're on their subway or whatever in Hong Kong, and they get an advert for Edinburgh, like come to Edinburgh, come and invest in Edinburgh, and they've heard of Leith, and like this is what happens, right? So now Leith Walk, right? Imagine that, right? What happened to Elm Row? This is a fucking scandal, right? This pisses me off. Excuse my language, right? But this pisses me off. This annoys me, right? Because what is the point of heritage? What is the point of like respecting, like, you know, the nuance of an area, the history of an area, if you're just going to rebrand it and go, nah, that's now Leith Walk? When was this ever Leith Walk? Right? It's not Leith Walk. It was never Leith Walk. Didn't start, right? That wasn't Leith Walk. None of that was Leith. Look, this is all Leith Walk. Greenside Place. Why is Greenside Place now Leith Walk? Right? This is deliberate. This isn't like some accident. This is a deliberate rebranding and restructuring. I don't know what that means, Mark. What does that mean? What's this an acronym for? I'm a bit slow. Is it blindingly obvious? Anyway, right. So, the same people rebrand everything with a mention of royalty. Yeah. The CEO Lawrence. But also like they it's managed decline, right? What they're doing in Princess Street is deliberate. Like Stephen Pritchard, the laird. I'm stick. The laird of Camo liaised with Stephen Pritchard, and he came up here like getting on for about 8 years ago or something. I'm sick of hospitals and park names after princes and queens. I quite agree with that. Enough of this. We need to. There you go, right? You see how you've got all these plastic Republicans. Somebody was mentioning about getting on the case of the SNP and that. But we've got this whole section of you got like these plastic Republicans, the Green Party, all the people that failed the independence, you know, this Aberdeen independence movement, the Green Party, sections of the SNP. I think, you know, Bella Caledonia put something, you know, suddenly they're all Republicans. It's like, well, let's get them, get that, put that in their manifesto, right? That they're going to remove all associated terms for the monarchy and royalty from our avenues and boulevards and hospitals. Like get hunted, like, you know. Anyway, right, so back to the outrage of the Waverley Valley, right? So this is just a manufactured term, right? This is Paul Lawrence's. Paul Lawrence thinks he's some kind of genius. He's a complete moron. And everybody's beginning to twig, finally, you know. It's pretty late in many respects, but at least we know. There's no such place, and there has never been such a place as the Waverley Valley, right? Interested in our proposals to regenerate and revitalise the area. Well, they managed the decline of that area. They've deliberately messed Princess Street up so they can then say, oh look, we need to spend money on it and improve it because of XYZ, and they'll improve it for their business associates. So we can expect at least another 5 or 6 Black Sheep coffees. Oh, that's great. I've lost the. I have identified a bug with QuickTime Player, by the way. I'd just like to say. So anyway, so they're going to. Hold on a second. I'll put this. they're going to work on Princess Street, and they're obviously want to do this, and they'll probably want to put in cycle lanes. They want to put in cycle lanes, and they are wanting, I think, to bring it into a more cafe kind of culture type thing or something like that, you know. But it's not really going to be for local people anyway. The responses were from the locals. I'm on the wrong page, sorry. There we go. Kaiser Sozi says, a giant velodrome to house. See you next Tuesdays. Put the Norloch back. Waverley Valley. This is an embarrassment. You're supposed to be a Scottish council. Get on with running, improving and building more council housing and keep the bins emptied and roads clean. Princess Street Gardens don't need regenerated. They need maintained as a public park. Mark Hanna says, look at the replies, Edinburgh City Council. How does it feel to be so passionately and utterly hated by the people of the city you've destroyed? You're all obsolete, morally and financially bankrupt. Use the tourist tax to maintain it as a garden for folk to relax and spend time in. Not that you'll do that. Who came up with the Waverley Valley and how much money did they get? Or was it brown envelopes all round? Are you going to level the valley out and stick up wee bollards for more spaces for people? Set out some cycle lanes and build some shitey shops for tourists? Probably not, but whatever it is you've already planned on doing will be a calamity. Fucking arseholes. It's an endless. It's worth a wee ponder just to see just what the general vibe is. Waverley Valley is up there with Granton Beach being renamed Wardy Bay. I'm with that. The other one is North Fetties, like, you know. And the shore, obviously, they made Constitution Street the shore because it suited the tram stop, you know. So there's something just really. I personally find it quite sad, you know, that they you know, they've gentrified, they've cleansed, they've pushed people out. They've took the city, you know, they've took the city from the people that traditionally, you know, that built it over generations, and, you know, I've got, you know, people living in the city forever. Hold on a second, there's a whole bunch of I hope everyone needs to fill in. Ross Ginger Bottles on X says, everyone needs to fill in the consultation on City of Edinburgh Council website. It's a common tactic they use to quietly put a consultation on their website. Make sure certain lobby groups are aware and fill it in. Then go ahead with their plans. Any criticism is met with the response, we consulted people and supported. This is very, very true, Ross. It's very much an engineered consultation process. We've spoken about this on What the X before. I will post the article link. Mark McGee, you call that radio, says East Merchant City. Where are we? East Merchant City now stretches to Hag Hill in Glasgow. It's all real estate chat. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, what makes it quite insulting, you know? But it's worse than that, isn't it? It's kind of like there's just no respect. There's no respect anymore. But there's no respect for, you know, people's identity or something. It's quite dark the way that this is done. For how many years has the route up to the Esplanade being closed. Why? And now you're talking about revitalising Waverley Valley. What on earth is that? Exactly. Let me... Mystic Peg is asking that I post the link. I post the link to the strategy here thing. Now, what Ross was saying is very true, that these are engineered consultations, so they've already got a strong, they've already got like what they call stakeholders and all the rest of it. They've already kind of made a decision. When it actually comes to this point, the sort of like, right, we need to kind of present it to the public, this is a kind of formality for them. It's a bit of a box ticking exercise. It's a bit of a hurdle that they've got to kind of like get over, like, oh no, we need to kind of interact with the public a bit, let them know what's going on. But we absolutely do need to mount a feasible, comprehensive campaign against what's happening to the city. People like Scott Arthur, all these freaks, all these ideologues that who also, I think it has to be said, this is something that I think is worth saying, and I think it, leave it alone. Get to fuck wankers. Where's the Waverley Valley? The Waverley what? Bring the taxis back inside the station. Leave it. I mean, they took away the putting greens from the gardens. They've cut. They cut down loads of trees. The gardens have already been really badly damaged by consecutive administrations. Adam McVeigh was responsible for letting Underbelly ruin them. There's loads of trees have been cut down in the gardens, and what people don't know, a lesser known fact, is that where the National Gallery is, where they've got that new kind of restaurant thing in that, where they spent all the money there, a lot of the trees got cut down there because it was to make to make them to make access for the deliveries when they were building that section. It was actually to let the deliveries in for the significant work that was going on at the gallery. So they cut down trees that had been in the gardens for like hundreds of years, loads of trees. Do you remember they burnt all the memorial benches as well? Like the burning of the memorial benches, like some of those memorial benches, they were like gifted like to people from like, it was like really beautiful moments of history, like little poignant things, like folk from the 50s and stuff like that, and like all the way up, like a really important timestamps of the city, and like a window into names and places and people, set on fire, burnt. They burnt these beautiful old benches. Like that's the level of contempt and disrespect that these clowns have, And this is what happens when you become completely detached from local government and stop voting and become apathetic to politics. We end up with a situation like Gaza. It's the same thing. It's the same neoliberal system. It's the same opportunism. It's the same no defence against capital, just capital interest, just dictating everything. Something very symbolic, Beldon Lascar says, something very symbolic about burning memorial benches, yeah. Something very sort of Fahrenheit. Joseph Heller or whatever, Speckenbauer says, 10 years' time, we'll have coffee shops on Granton Square, which will be renamed Westleath. He's right. He's no wrong. He's right. Anyway, did we get the government thing there? Okay, so what the fuck? Where is this made up place, Waverley Valley? Waverley Valley, where's that? I've lived here for 50 years. It's never been called that. Stop the inconsequential nonsense and focus on the areas that matter. Take a trip along Fountain Bridge as one example and see the diabolical state you've set the roads in. You've got the roads in. Give yourselves a slap. They don't care. Anyway, it's you can see. But the funny thing is, right? None of this is the real public consultation. This on X, this interactions that they're getting here. These are the views of the public, of the locals. The only prior references I can find to the term Waverley Valley are a care home in Melbourne and this Edinburgh photography website. What's this? Okay. I don't know what that is. Somebody that's involved in the development. Waverley Valley, ye gods, but we have nothing that isn't commercialised to within an inch of its life. Goodbye Princess Street Gardens then. They took away the putting greens, you know, down by the galleries. They used to have, the old folk used to go there. And this is why I find it's all a bit mental as well, you know, it's like we're planning for the future of Princess Street Gardens and the Waverley Valley. And it's like what you're planning for is to provide more facilities for tourists and business. People have been completely and utterly ostracised and exiled from the city. If you go to the schemes, if you go up into any of the periphery, very few people go up the town in the way that they did even 10-15 years ago. It's economically prohibitive. With the ULEZ thing, people aren't able to travel into the city. What they're going to do now, they're going to bring more cycle lanes. Cycle lanes that don't even get used. Most cyclists still actually use the roads, which are in terrible condition as well. Anyway, so let's take a look at their proposals. People's Story campaign helped. They need to feel pressure. I think that's true, Arpignon. I think there is an element of they're beginning to realise that, you know, see, the thing about Edinburgh is that we never really made a fuss in the same way as other places did in some ways, but it doesn't mean that we weren't paying attention or that we didn't know what was going on. I think that things that have happened over the last few years have contributed to kind of people have been a bit shocked, to be honest. I think people are. I don't think people can quite comprehend just how bad it's got. But I've made this point many times, and one of the main reasons why we have this and this has happened is because we don't have any broadcasting. We don't actually have any comprehensive representation of Edinburgh as a city. It's a capital city of Scotland. We don't have any comprehensive representation of what's actually happening to the city and what local residents actually feel about that and what locals actually think about that. We don't even have any actual effective, efficient expression of Edinburgh culture. But that's historic. That's gone on for decades and decades. I've been through this many times. But when it comes to a situation now where there's a complete, all this surplus capital is coming in with these expensive infrastructure projects, and what's his name? David Harvey did an amazing talk about 15 years ago about the neoliberal city, and it's pretty much the blueprint in some ways, or the schematic for what's happened to Edinburgh. This has happened historically, but it's happening to Edinburgh now, and it has been happening to Edinburgh, and we do need to oppose it if possible. I'll do my bit. I'll try my best to do my bit. Let's go back to so what they're actually saying here. Let me go back over here a second. So once again, cheers to Leoski for the mix. Right. So why we need, I'll get it out of the way here. Why we need to revitalise and conserve the area. With its dramatic views to the castle, Old Town and the gardens, Princess Street is a place that everyone should have the opportunity to enjoy safely and comfortably. We did. Why? What's changed? Shopping, leisure, culture, nature, events. City Plan 2030, Edinburgh's new local development plan, promotes development with an appropriate mix of uses and design in a historic city centre. This will be supported by our draft strategy. West Princess Street Gardens. Like many historic parks, Princess Street Gardens faces a number of challenges. The ornamental layout and planting was established at a time where parks had large workforces to manage and maintain them. We've cut all the staff and we've only got 2 gardeners for the whole of the city now, and so we need to put some coffee shops there instead of trees. That's another way to describe that. Original tree planting is maturing and facing threats from disease and climate change. Climate change is threatening the trees, so we need to cut them down. You couldn't write it. You honestly couldn't write it. Where's my mouse gone? What's going on? You couldn't write it, could you? Point 2. Where's the psychopaths? Check out what they said the people wanted. Point 2. I'm trying to see. It's quite. The climate and nature crisis require us to manage rainwater sustainably and adapt planting to suit both wet and dry conditions and to benefit biodiversity. Inclusive access and fit-for-purpose facilities are also needed to manage the expectations. I mean, this is the thing. It's the same. It's like, it doesn't matter. You know, they think that they've come up with this elaborate. You know, they think they're clever with their sort of smoke and mirrors, and they come up with language and stuff like that. It's like people have made the point in the responses on X. You know, it's like it's Princess Street Gardens. It was done. They were created. Right, and then they need maintained. It's the same as what happened in Aberdeen with the Winter Gardens. I don't know if they destroy the Winter Gardens, but I knew they were going to damage it. But it was like these really beautiful Victorian ornate gardens, and David Wood and all that. They were determined to basically commercialise it. And this appears to be exactly what's happening to Princess Street. Where's this point 2 about the psychopaths? Okay, the other thing was, right, the Edinburgh Gin. See, this is another thing. Edinburgh Gin were given. They've just opened a new building below Jeffrey Street. I wonder if I can find the. I wonder if I can find that. Yeah, right. So, okay, sorry, I thought I was here. So this is like Edinburgh Gin. They opened this this building here, right, at Jeffrey Street. But see this bit here, right? See that thing that they've put there? Well, there was a law there was some sort of like thing in the council that's like nobody was allowed to build there because on the street view here you could see up to Calton Hill. It was the view up to Calton Hill, and it's a great view, and they've built on it. And I think the argument that they've got, right, is that this is glass, so you can see through that to see the view on Calton Hill. That's gen up. That's the state of these clowns, these animals, these civic vandals that are just wrecking the tune. Check me on one. That gin place looks fucking awful. Sharpie says Aberdeen Union Terrace Gardens has been done. I think it looks terrible. Looks cheap. Yeah, the gardens were beautiful. They were kind of sunken, weren't they? And I went years ago, and so it's the same vibe. You know, it's just this sort of need to just fuck with it. What's Matty Ross saying? The master plan presents a new opportunity for us to focus on how we can make sure we take care of the area going forward. Councillor James Dalglish, planning convener, master plan. Anyway, they are showing these plans tomorrow. Let's just go back for a second and see what it is, right? So we're not done with this. This is just the beginning. So the consultation, the history of the Waverley Valley. When did it get called the Waverley Valley exactly? It's never been the Waverley Valley. This is nonsense. How to comment on the draft strategy. Okay, so tomorrow between 10... Oh, sorry, I'm in the way. Tomorrow between 10 and 2 p.m. At the Central Library on George IV Bridge, you can go. Wednesday the 29th of January from 3 till 7, Waverley Station main concourse. Monday 3rd of February 1 till 5 at the City Arts Centre. We already have a lot of information on what residents, service providers, businesses, developers and visitors want to see as part of an improved city centre. This has included consultations on our city mobility plan, city centre transformation plan, World Heritage Site Management Plan, which included online surveys, sessions with key stakeholders, there's the term, and drop-in sessions. Safe, smooth pavements which are free from trip hazards. A safe, high-quality cycle network. Who came up with that? Which visitors or residents told you that what we wanted was a safe, high-quality cycle network? Was it critical mass in all these middle-class folk and their Bromptons and their whatever, these urban arrows? It's all bollocks, right? We know it's all bollocks. Anyway, we've tentatively, we've taken a cursory glance we've taken a cursory glance at the madness that's incurring. So there is an election next Thursday, a week on Thursday. I'm on the ballot. Mark Nay Party's on the ballot as well, and a bunch of other folk. But if you're in Collerton, Fairmont Head, Oxgang, Swanston, that same area, Ward 8, then if you know anybody in Ward 8, then tell them to vote for us. Tell them to vote for us. We've not got any backers. We've not got any loot. We've not got anything to sort of mount any feasible campaign between now and the vote. But at least if you know people, if you're watching What the X, spread the message, spread the news. Well, it's Wednesday the 15th of January. Are we any knowledge on a ceasefire yet? There seemed to be talk yesterday that there was a ceasefire coming. I'm praying that that's going to happen. I hope that occurs. And in the meantime, I don't know what's happened there. Is that still there? Is X still running? I am going. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. No, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If you enjoy What the X and you're feeling generous, then you can donate here, and I'll stick that in X as well. And if you want to be a more regular supporter, you can join the Patreon, which I think is, don't know if that about it. Copy link. Here's the Patreon page. Is it? Seems to be. I don't know if that's worked. I think that's it. Aye. So thanks for joining me this morning. It's been nice to see so many cats here. I'll be back. Keep an eye out for when I'll be back. I might be back on Friday, I'm not sure. It might be Monday before I'm back, but I'll let you know. I'll put a note. I hope you have a nice Wednesday. I'm going to leave you with a brilliant track. One of my favourite tracks of late. He was in the chat earlier, I don't know if he's still here. It was Mark McGee, You Call That Radio. And it's Steal My Sleep by the Girobabies, and this is a video. But yeah, massive fan of the Girobabies, and I think this is one of the best tracks that they've done. And it's an absolute belter. So enjoy this, and I'll catch you all soon. See you later.
Guys, severed ties. Now the bevied pies, same path as I. Phone cameras die, so there's no reply. And no proof of why, but I know. Roadway shuffle without structure. Gut-wrenching lung puncture. Wires in the cloud to solve the puzzle. Electrical wires in the eyes, the seas, the bees and trees and trouble. It's been a long summer, been a long summer. Been a long summer, been a long summer. Please, please sell me autumn leaves. Earth are blast off winter, so I can't breathe. The sums of my sins multiply. Digging myself